What is fatherhood to me? Fatherhood is to me is challenging. It comes with a lot of pressure, right? But it's also fun, right? It's a fun challenge, right? It's one of those challenges that we want to take on, that we dreamt about this moment like our whole lives. Well, I have, right? Speaks for myself. I've dreamt about this moment my whole life, right? And now that it's here, I'm ensuring and making sure that I'm doing the right thing. No one's perfect. I know I'm not perfect, right? It's things that I know I need to work on as far as being a parent, but those things that it's constantly in my mind and I'm constantly working on when it comes to parenting, right? The way I communicate, to make sure I stay in the moment, right? And not think too much far ahead, especially, just raising a kid, you want to stay in the moment, keep them a kid, make sure, but also, you want to teach them lessons of responsibility, holding themselves accountable, right? Especially, I have a son and I have a bonus daughter. So I always, my biggest thing is having balance, right? It's all about balance, right? We want to have fun and, the kids and stuff like that, but there's also a time and place where we have to put in some work. You have to focus, we have to handle our responsibilities, right? And then if those are not done, then I have to hold them accountable, right? And it's important to teach them accountability young. You don't have to wait to a certain age to teach certain lessons, right? Kids are smart, kids catch on, right? And then the more that we drive it home, the more that we teach them these things: responsibility, accountability, respect, proper manners, right? Clean up after yourself. I shouldn't have to tell you, right? Stuff like that is very important, especially. So that's where I feel like dads will come in at, because our voice are different, right? And like I said, this is not a mom versus dad thing. It's just a difference of tone, right? That's important, right, for the kids to have in the household on an everyday basis, right? So it's about balance, and I strive to balance, especially with my son. He plays basketball, football. He's involved in a lot of sports, and sometimes I can get caught up in, forward thinking in the future. And hey, if you want this, you got to do this now. But he's also a kid, right? So I'm always constant and I'm always reminding myself of balance. Make sure I have the proper balance. He's a kid, keep him a kid, right? But also, like I said, I hold him accountable and make him responsibility. Hey, this is what you want out of life. This is what we got to do, right? And then after that, you play and do your thing. But let's handle what we have to handle first, right? To get through our goals, right? I ask my kids about the goals, right? And how can we go about achieving those goals, right? Anything that I can do to help them achieve their goals, I will do it, right? I'm big on just not laying around and just letting time pass. I get it. They're young. But at the same time, before you look up, you're 16, 17 years old, right? So it's important to build certain muscle memory, right, as you say, to working, right? So that's where my son and I created a book called Put in Work, and it's just there to inspire kids to chase their dreams now. And anything you want out of life, you have to work for it. It's no getting around it, right? You have to work for it. And I want the world to get a hold of this book for their kids, because it's a powerful message, but also it's very digestible for the youth and the kids of all ages to simply put in work. Anything you put your mind towards and you work for, you can get it, right? It's nothing out of the realm of possibility that you can achieve, right? So always have that mindset. And that's what I teach my kids: go get it, right? But you have to work. Nothing's going to be handed to you. I'm not handing you anything. Your mother's not handing you anything. No one's going to hand you anything. You have to work for it, right? And it starts now at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5. Teach these kids their lesson from my perspective, right? That's my perspective. That's how I do things, right? That's the conversations that my kids and I have, is about, if you want it, you got to work for it, right? If you ain't willing to work for it, I don't know, right? So continue to try for your goals, man, and get your kids to strive for their goals, right? Every day, do something productive every day. And it's not about sports, right? Schoolwork, anything they want to achieve. If they want to sell candy or if they want to do to make sure they're taking the proper steps to be the best at it, right? We're just not trying to exist. We want to be the best at what we do, or that's the goal. You know what I mean? For me, right? My perspective, right? Is we try to be the best. We want to be the best, right? And then in the midst of striving for to be the best, the chips gonna land where they land, right? But you know in your heart that you gave it all, right? And that's what we teach our kids. That's what I teach my kids. Go and get it. Go and get it, right? And be confident at it, all right? So, so for me, fatherhood is just, it's a challenge, but it's also a challenge that I'm willing to accept. And I hope all dads out there is accepting that challenge, no matter what position you're in, just matter what position you're in your kid's life, right? Do what you can do and make sure you're doing it from the purest heart for the betterment of the kids. And I promise you, everything will be okay. This is from a dad's perspective. Peace.